And we are recording today, so welcome. And we will go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. It is 2 o'clock on Monday, October the 12th, 2020. My name is Stephanie Keener, and I am the Executive Director of the Virginia Small Business Development Center that serves the Lynchburg region. And I want to say thank you for joining us for today's, I almost said celebration earlier. It is a celebration anytime we get together, but thank you for joining us for today's training, which is thinking about selling online. We are considering Shopify today. And today's webinar is a production of the Virginia Small Business Development Center, which serves the Lynchburg region. Through 29 centers across the Commonwealth, the SBDC provides training and technical assistance to small businesses. The Virginia SBDC is headquartered at George Mason University and is a program that is a cooperative agreement between the U.S. Small Business Administration, premier institutions across Virginia, and our local governments. As I said earlier, my name is Stephanie Keener, and I am the Executive Director of the Virginia SBDC, which serves the city of Lynchburg, Amherst, Appomattox, Bedford, and Campbell counties. And we are locally hosted at the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance in downtown Lynchburg. Today, we are co-hosted by the Downtown Lynchburg Association, which is an accredited program of the Virginia Main Street and the National Main Street Center, a subsidiary of the National Trust for Historic Preservation. For more than 2 decades, the organization and the city of Lynchburg have worked together to sustain and develop downtown as a vital economic, cultural, recreational, residential, and historic center for our community. And as I said earlier, today's topic is thinking about selling online. I know that a lot of us have had to switch pretty quickly to thinking about how we sell our goods and services to a more online environment. And so today we're going to talk mostly about Shopify. Brian Crowder is our host today. We had a second person who was going to be joining Brian on our panel today, but she had a family emergency and couldn't join us. So Brian is with us today, and Brian connects small businesses to the tools and strategies needed to thrive in a wildly unpredictable world. I think we all feel that right now. As a longtime designer and logistics pro, he has helped hundreds of aspiring entrepreneurs serve their customers with creative direction and fulfillment support. Now leading special projects for Shopify's growing fulfillment network, Brian lives and works in Lynchburg with his wife, 2 young sons, and a doodle named Winnie. And as I said earlier, we are recording today's session, which we will put up on our YouTube channel later. But if you don't mind, I think Brian has some questions for you in the beginning. So if you would show your faces, we will have a little conversation. Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Crowder. I'm with Shopify and been a Shopify partner for a long time, but I want to talk today about this crazy adjustment that small businesses have to make right now. And we're going to talk about some tools that Shopify offers to make that happen. But right off the top, I just wanted to see maybe a show of hands. Who here has had to close down their shop or their restaurant or their business for any amount of time in the last 6 or 9 months? Anyone? No? Everyone's thriving through the change? That's good. Well, a lot of businesses are having a hard time now with their physical only locations. So what I'd like to do is talk about how we can help you bring your business online. And I'll throw up my presentation now. And we can really just run through all of the very simple to use and very broad selection of tools that Shopify offers for small businesses to sell online, reach a bigger audience, and grow. So here I'm going to share my screen. Everyone see my screen okay?
Yes.
Great. Should say, bring your business online. So thank you to Stephanie and the SBDC for inviting me to be here. I want to say, first of all, how amazing it is that you small business owners are doing this work. The world needs more independent businesses, more entrepreneurs. And we need to be able to compete against the big guys. So things are a little different for retail right now, right? You may have had to deal with some certain restrictions, some certain closures, some dwindling foot traffic. Things like this are what we have to learn how to adjust to right now. There's a lot of change that can be happening now, but some things never change, right? In small business, service matters, right? You need to be able to overcome the challenges and obstacles that you have on a daily basis, and you need to be able to compete for the next sale. You need to be able to make your buying experience easy, regardless of whether it's in person or online, and you need to be able to really delight your customers. But as some of us have had to close up or at least limit our hours or limit our occupancy, how do you compete if your shop is empty, right? How do you endure these challenges and overcome these obstacles? Well, I'm here to tell you it's entirely possible, right? There's with a little bit of creativity in the right toolbox, small businesses like yours are still seeing sales. Those sales are just happening online. So in the first half of 2020, e-commerce sales grew 30% due to the impacts of the pandemic. And as consumers, the change in our buying habits is quick, right? We adjust to buy the thing that is easy to buy, the thing that we need that is available to us as quickly and as affordably as possible. And that sort of adjustment led to e-commerce growth of more than what we saw in the entire last decade. This year, all the retail sales, 18% of those sales were made online, which is a huge increase over the last decade. And it's a direct result of things like lockdowns and lowered consumer confidence in the safety of physical retail. So our selling habits as small businesses and entrepreneurs, they have to adjust. And as Stephanie mentioned, I'm with Shopify. So I want to talk about what Shopify is and how, as a platform, it can allow you to create an e-commerce website that's supported by powerful tools that help you find customers, drive sales, and manage your day-to-day. To launch a Shopify store is incredibly easy, but it's also something that if I were to dive into that now, we could be doing it all day. We could do it for 15 minutes and have your business running, or we could tweak and play with every detail of a brand new Shopify website. So instead of diving into that too deeply, I'll provide some links here for the steps of taking on this challenge, and I'll provide these links to you in a presentation at the end of my time today. So you can create a Shopify store for a single product that only sells the items online, or you can create an incredibly complex platform for thousands of products sold in hundreds of stores and online. As a matter of fact, Staples Canada is a Shopify store. We already know that you have customers. We know that you already have sales, but now is the perfect time to move that retail store online so that you can keep serving customers without missing a beat. You want to make a transition, and you want it to be something that doesn't just put on a Band-Aid, but something that creates a long-term strategy for growth. And you want to be future-proof. So the shift in focus to online selling is not a temporary one. It's the future. It's integrating your physical business with an online counterpart that protects you from some of the changes businesses are facing right now. Managing your in-store inventory and making that inventory available online is entirely possible with Shopify. It's entirely possible without this hardware, but it's such good looking and good hardware that I wanted to show it here. Shopify actually makes point of sale systems, and this tap to pay plus chip card reader is directly integrated with a touchscreen POS system that would integrate with any Shopify store. And it's definitely something to consider when you're building up your retail plus online business. With point of sale software being what it is, brick and mortar retailers use it to conduct sales in person. Sometimes it's a cash register, a computer, or even a tablet where cashiers input products, tally the cost, and conduct the financial transactions. But most POS software will also communicate with inventory levels to keep everything in balance. The integrated POS app that Shopify offers can be used on any screen type, web, iPhone, Android, and it syncs inventory and product data to your online store. So a lot of us are selling to a local audience, right? And creating an online store implies distance. It suggests that we don't necessarily have a direct connection to our buyer. We're trying to reach them over wires and electricity rather than in person. But shopping local doesn't have to mean shopping in person. Your customers are feeling the same changes you are, and you want to accommodate that audience. So shopping local can mean local delivery. It can mean curbside pickup. It can be a new way for you to adjust how product gets purchased and put in the hands of your buyer. Curbside pickup, I think, is especially something that I'm excited about, because it can't be much easier for your customer to buy from you if your products are purchased online with an easy payment, an easy confirmation process, no paper receipts, no mess, no muss, and they come by and just pick it up from you whenever they feel like it. That's pretty advanced in the world of retail, certainly local retail. With Shopify's local delivery features, you can define a delivery area. Just use a radius or a list of zip codes that you want to determine how far you'll travel to deliver your orders. You can customize your local delivery right at checkout, just set a delivery price and decide if you want to include a minimum order price. You can tell customers how and when you deliver. Just add a custom message to checkout, let customers know how you handle local deliveries. And you can easily prepare your orders for a local delivery by having all of those orders in one place. You can easily prepare packages and view delivery instructions from your customers. So curbside pickup is a nice adjustment to our current circumstances as well. We may not be stuck at home completely. We may be out in the world. We may want to go see the place and go see the person that we just bought something from. Even if we can't go in and hang out with them inside and enjoy their retail experience, we can shop and pay on their store. You as a business owner, you can pack and seal the order and you can hand it right to your customer at curbside, designating these types of deliveries right in checkout so that you know what to expect and your customer knows what to expect. So if you happen to rely on foot traffic, some of these new or different buying methods, curbside pickup, local delivery, they're unexpected. Certainly in our market, they're different for small businesses. Everyone's used to Domino's dropping off a pizza, but maybe not, the local bridal shop or the local jewelry shop doing the same. So assumptions are made that if restrictions are in place, your business may not be an option, and the shopping stops for your type of product, and people go elsewhere where they know that those options are available to them to shop online. So Shopify has a great tool. If you rely on foot traffic, with the Shopify store, you can create custom signage for your windows or doors that just lets buyers know how to buy from you when the shop is closed, when they're not able to physically come in. So a custom QR code is created in a simple little sign that you can print and post right on the window, allowing buyers to scan it and go straight to your online store. And I'll provide a link to this here at the end. But if anything, this is just a very useful little look around or workaround for this type of selling. So if you've created an online store now and you are directing traffic to it, you've maybe reduced your shop hours or your restaurant hours, you've changed the way that you're reaching out to your audience, and now you're trying to drive sales to an online store. How do you reach your ideal shopper, right? You reach them where they are with content marketing, with search engine optimization, and on social media. You can use Shopify's direct integrations to these platforms to share products, to launch new campaigns. There are even integrated marketing, automated marketing features, such as the app kit, which allows you to achieve all of these things right from your store admin. These are undoubtedly aggressive marketing and advertising efforts that normally take a team of people. They normally take a lot of expertise, but Shopify has simplified them enough to allow one-person shops or smaller businesses with limited budget or experience to jump in and compete for the same level of attention that you might get from a bigger, broader company. So the idea here is that you can use one platform to sell your products to anyone, anywhere, in person with point of sale, and online through your website, through your social media, through other online marketplaces. If you are talking about moving your retail store online, it it's a big move. It's simple, but it's a big move that can create new opportunities. And having a retail shop plus a Shopify store, it may, for you, lend itself to other sales channels that you might want to pursue. It may open other doors for you. And if you're able to integrate other sales channels into your Shopify store, like managing Amazon listings and Shopify products in a single location, you could sell your products by tagging them when they appear in your Instagram posts. Taking advantage of all of Shopify's reach and doing it in a simple way from one place may change the entire nature of your business while allowing you to still maintain a retail presence that is truly yours. So getting to a place where you have established sales in a retail location, you've established sales now online, in your own store, you've begun to grow into other sales channels. Shopify allows you to use this one platform to sell anywhere. And that means that anywhere could really mean anywhere. We're not talking about local anymore. You will have to pack and ship something to somewhere. And as a order fulfillment exercise, it can be tricky. But Shopify has built in Shopify shipping, allowing you to make your products available to an audience outside your local area. You can get special discounted rates. You can track packages, and you can pay it all in one bill by printing your own labels inside your Shopify admin. You would have to have millions of orders with multiple shipping carriers each year to achieve the kinds of rates that Shopify shipping makes available to small businesses. So using the embedded features of a Shopify store makes it entirely possible for you to stop paying retail rates for shipping labels and start using the integrated discounted rates that can allow you to scale up, save cash on the shipping, or go for a faster shipping method and really impress your buyers. Alternatively to packing and shipping orders and turning your garage into a warehouse, you can outsource it. Packing and shipping orders for online buyers is a lot of work. And frankly, there's an entire industry of professional packers and shippers out there. Hiring out this part of your business when it becomes a burden is an excellent growth strategy. And while there are hundreds of small third-party logistics companies, warehouses, fulfillment centers that would be able to help any of your small businesses begin to outsource their shipping and fulfillment, none of them have a fully end-to-end solution tied directly to your store, except for Shopify. So Shopify's fulfillment network helps you reach a broader audience with affordable pricing and competitive shipping infrastructure. It's really hands-off if you're interested in managing primarily your retail, primarily your brand. If you want to focus on those things and grow those parts of your business, allow the logistics on the back end to happen somewhere else. Fulfillment does not have to be frustrating. Our fulfillment network lets you control your data. It ships fast and keeps your brand at the forefront from checkout until delivery. You are able to store products, manage inventory, and get your orders out the door fast, allowing you to compete with the larger businesses out there who may have their own warehouses or their own distribution networks. This level of service that's possible now using this infrastructure from Shopify, both from software and hardware and the fulfillment network, all of it combines to level the playing field. We have an expression that we use. There are a lot of there's a lot of empire out there right now. Amazon is building an empire. Walmart is building an empire, and small businesses tend to be hurt by it, just through the nature of the work. It's harder to do with fewer resources. So Shopify is making this effort to level that playing field and arm the rebels, so to speak, against this empire. We want to make all of these very otherwise difficult things to do as easy as possible and as simple as possible for the entrepreneurs who want to build their brands and grow their businesses. So retail plus a Shopify store. That is what we're aiming at. It's a big change. It can be as small and simple as you want it to be. You can certainly go very big with this piece of technology as well. So big change, big opportunity to adjust to the current climate, to the current economy. Change is hard, but there's nothing wrong with change if it's in the right direction. And so I want to, I'll give you my code here to everyone. I want you to try this. If you want to put your phone up to the screen and scan this, I'll also send you a link after the presentation. This is free. This service, try it free for 2 whole weeks. You can even ship orders free, or I'm sorry, process orders free for that period of time. There's a lot that Shopify can offer to small businesses like yours, and I would love to talk about. We have some more time now. I would love to talk about what questions you might have about Shopify, about how to get started, about how the platform and the infrastructure can help you. And that's my time for today. But I'm going to show you a link to all of this when we're done with our question and answer session. All right.
Okay. Brian, I am going to, do you feel like you will want to go back through your slides?
I'm happy to.
I mean, just to answer questions, I'm going to put the gallery view back on, or
Okay.
I'm going to remove the spotlight for you is what I think I am. Anyway. So that we can see everybody. We do have one first question, which is, does Shopify offer a module for service providers, such as consultants, realtors, recruiters, electricians?
A module such as maybe.
Yeah, if the asker wants to unmute and clarify, that would be fine.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Sure, my name is Mudassir, and my question, hi there. The question is that, I understand Shopify is primarily made for retail sales. At the same point in time, just visualizing, in the mind, and when something is being sold on Shopify, whether it's a retail product or any other product or service for that matter, if Shopify website can provide support to the retail, that retail product can be replaced with a service with minimal, adjustments. Does
Oh,
Shopify
absolutely.
support, providing that from the service point of view? Let's say if I'm a consultant in management, how should I use Shopify?
You're absolutely right to ask. So typically a product is tied to a quantity of units, right? And a certain available inventory you may have. With a service, that's a little more difficult to qualify, right? And quantify. If you have, if you're a contractor, you might be selling hours, right? You might be selling a single consultation service, a single package of service, and something like that could certainly become a product for sale on your Shopify store. Also, if you wanted to simply use what Shopify calls a buy button, you could, in your regular communications online, if you are part of a Facebook group, if you have a lot of followers on Twitter and you want to talk about a certain subject and you say, based on this subject, I can give advice to anyone over the next 3 days, getting you ready for this very important upcoming event. Here is a button that you can buy my time right there. Shopify provides that sort of a commerce feature. So you could certainly convert the contracting nature of your business into a Shopify store. But you're right, it would be a little more creative way of using the tool.
Brian, we had a couple of questions from Christine earlier. She was curious about integration with social media, which you already addressed.
Sure.
But she also wants to know if you have questions on setting up the website, can you get some live support for that over the phone? And the second question is, can she use an existing subdomain to link to Shopify?
Absolutely. Yeah. So all of those are a yes. Shopify, I'll tell you, I'm one of about 6,000 employees at Shopify. Shopify has a lot of software designers and developers, a lot of graphic designers and web designers and finance people, and you can imagine the entire breadth of talent that is required to get a product this big and powerful out into the world and still make it good and simple and easy to use. So of about the 6,000 employees at Shopify, there are about 4,000 of them who are support. So Shopify is a very merchant focused company. We call ourselves merchant obsessed. If you have any question at all, there is going to be a Shopify person there who's able to answer your question, to walk you through it, to direct you to a potentially more efficient or easier way of using the service. It's support all the way down. So you can trust that developing your website on what I see part of that question is, can this be designed on iPad? And Shopify is a fully functioning website, right? You can use it on any web platform. So if you're
sorry, can you hear me?
in a browser,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hi, Jean. Yes.
Oh, I'm Christine. It's okay. It's my son's on there.
Okay.
But I guess I was curious about actually designing the website on an iPad, because Wix, you set it up on a on the computer, and I primarily use my iPad. So I meant designing it can be designed on a webpad. I know that can be viewed. I know it can be viewed on many platforms, but or whatever. I just wanted to know if it could design the whole thing from beginning to end on an iPad.
Sure. It all happens in a browser, regardless of whether you're looking at that browser on the on a desktop machine or on a laptop or on a phone. It's not recommended for a phone, but certainly for an iPad, that's a screen large enough you could use.
And then the other question was, the main one was, I've never had a brick and mortar store. And so I'm basically doing, many versions of one product, doing the different kinds of prints. And there are some things out there like format and everything. So I want to know, like, what is special about Shopify for somebody like me? I would assume maybe some of it is that maybe easier integration with Google and Amazon, maybe with analytics, but I just wanted to get your feel. If you're going to sell it to me, why I would choose you guys over somebody else?
So the product you're selling is a card, you said?
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't clear. Nature photography. So I sell nature photography, fine art photography, and so there are different kinds of prints of my own work. So either like metal prints or whatever. So there's other things that are just, let's say, for photography, but like format is just for photography. That's a web building platform just for photography. But I guess I was just wondering why I should choose Shopify, or what would be does that make sense?
Sure. I suppose, you're asking the question of why one versus another, and you could line up a grid of features and break down all of the features that each of these platforms have. But I think what you're asking is, for nature photography, does Shopify present these photos, these prints well? Does it make it easy for me to sell them? And can I sell them in a way that makes it easy really for my buyers to buy them easily? And I would say that Shopify is the easiest website to use for a buyer. And that's probably more important than it being easy for us as entrepreneurs, right? It's better for everyone if the buyer has a downhill feeling, right? If it's Shopify you want for its ease of use, yes, it's going to be easier for you to use and it's going to be more flexible. But the most important thing is that it's really easier. Just by user experience, it's easier for the buyer to make a purchase.
Brian, can I make a kind of a general statement, and then you agree or disagree with me?
Sure.
I think for a lot of artists like Christine, they typically think about setting up a store on Etsy. And again, I'm sorry that our experienced Etsy seller wasn't with us today. But, one of the things that I think is challenging about that particular site for a lot of artists is they have a lot of competition, right? When you go there, if you're not searching for one particular name, you're going to see a lot of different nature photography, right? You have to make your Etsy shop really stand out. Christine's Etsy shop has to be amazing. She has to be able to really promote herself within the algorithm of that. Whereas if you're using your own website and integrating that with Shopify or setting up the Shopify website, that means that you are, bringing customers directly to your own space and selling, your own products without really that competition in that space of in the finding of the product, right? Is that a fair assumption?
You're on the right track. I think what you're talking about with using Shopify, really in any case, what's Shopify against a marketplace like Etsy? Well, it's yours, right? Shopify is your brand, it's your story, it's exclusively your products, and It's everything that you want it to be. Whereas another marketplace might come with some trade-offs. You know, you're going to get more attention, you're going to get more eyeballs because more people are naturally going to the big marketplace than they are just to one shop. But in that marketplace, you can't control the user experience as well. You can't control the competitive nature of the pricing as well. But to address the real solution here, Shopify has an app store that has integrations with Etsy. So you could have your own Shopify store and sell your products on Etsy, and sync the two by inventory, allowing you to really achieve both at the same time. Getting eyeballs on your product that you can confirm sales for within Shopify, that you can update inventory for. It allows you to be in two places at once. And that's the extensibility of Shopify as a big feature.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Do we have, I see a question about restaurants.
Yep. Do you want me to read that one?
Yeah, please.
How do you see the biggest opportunities for restaurants besides inventory and point of sale? I am really interested in finding out if Shopify helps expose restaurants to social media in any special or unique way.
Sure. So Shopify has a lot of built-in integrations with social media platforms. Getting the word out to that platform is entirely up to you. But each of the products in your Shopify store, as you are creating them, as you're putting in photos and putting in descriptions, each product listing within Shopify is naturally optimized for Google's current shopping algorithm. So based on your location, based on the product type that you are selling, those keywords in your listing find their way to the top of a Google search as say someone like me wanted to go in and search for your pasta or your pizza. If I'm in your area, a Shopify store is going to help you rise to the top of those searches, and it's going to help you expose your restaurant to the buyers who are looking for you. The other question there, I think the biggest opportunity, inventory management is good for a restaurant. That's a little bit amorphous, right? It's a little flexible. You don't necessarily keep inventory of plates of pasta or bags of donuts. Those are usually made fresh, right? But what using Shopify as a restaurant means for you right now is you have the opportunity to have the entire purchasing experience effectively automated, where there is no manual checkout, there is no person who needs to man the counter. There is receiving orders and walking to the curb and handing someone a bag of food. And that simplification of being a restaurateur right now is, for me, that's easily the most exciting concept that has come out of this last 9 months is our ability to release curbside pickup and local delivery. It's because it makes every restaurant that wants to be fully owned, fully branded, and still compete with a Grubhub or an Uber Eats without having to give up all of those delivery fees and all of those costs. Just make it available curbside and have your customers come by the way they normally would. That's a big innovation, and I think something that really levels the playing field.
Thank you.
How does Shopify compare to others expense-wise?
That's always the
That's a good, I mean,
$3,000 question.
I showed, I'm not going to share my screen and pull it up. I'll refer to it, but I showed that there are two different examples, and they were sort of on the far ends of a very long and wide spectrum. One was a single product being sold by a company only online, and that one SKU of that one product had its own store. And that's a pretty simple, low cost operation. I think that model is something in the $16 to $20 a month, and may not even be that much. But there are also extremely complex business models being built on Shopify. And like I mentioned, Staples Canada has 300 retail locations and thousands of variable product every day. And it's all available online. It's all available with buy online, pick up in store, buy in store, inventory updates online. All of it is still happening for some big company like that. So there is expense that is relative to the value that you get out of Shopify. You may see something that's $15, $20 a month, and you're going to get at least $15 or $20 a month, probably a lot more worth of value out of that. If you find yourself really investing in this model of business, really expanding your online presence, and beginning to focus perhaps even more in online, you're going to want to take advantage of more of Shopify's tools and more of its integrated services. And when you do that, the price per month may go up, the price per transaction may go down, as you're processing payments with Shopify's built-in payment processor. But always you're going to get a one-to-one with value. The costs of Shopify is minuscule piece of whatever business you're running.
Brian, Christine is asking that we do, before we sign out, put up the code for the 2 weeks free before we leave Zoom. We have a few more minutes and can answer a couple of other questions if anyone else would like to ask. I know that, question.
Let me put this in the chat. This is an abbreviated copy of my presentation. It's abbreviated to only include slides with links. So,
okay, cool.
So this will be there, and in that doc you can follow all the links, look at some of the information on Shopify's support pages and all of the websites that are great examples of Shopify stores. Also, my QR code is there for you to get 2 free weeks.
Okay. And we are, as I said earlier, recording the presentation. I'm sure that if you want to, once we get usually takes us about 24 hours to get the video up and for you to get a follow-up email. So if you'd like to, once you receive the email, you can head back to the video, or we can even put that QR code, Brian, if you want to send it to us, we can put that in the email.
I'm happy to put it up right now.
A question that we get at the SBDC pretty frequently, folks are, they've been doing their shop in the way that they've been doing their shop the same way forever, right? And they have their products, and they are a little bit hesitant to move to doing things in this new way that we've been sort of forced into. And I think Christine's question earlier about, if you call and are you going to get, a live human being to help you walk through this process is, that's a little bit reassuring. But what is the thing that you would say to our small businesses to most reassure them about walking into this brave new world of selling your products online for the first time. Let's say you are a small shop, you're not super familiar with, you're somebody in your shop maintains your website for you, but it's really a landing page, and you've never integrated your product sales online before. What's the thing that you can say to that person who knows they need to do this?
Right.
Because we are going to be dealing with coronavirus for a while, you guys.
Sure.
It's going to take a while for us to feel comfortable being in these spaces again.
I would say these are all great points, and I know that they are very common fears and anxieties about, how do I help my business survive these uncharted waters. First, you are not alone. There are over 1 million merchants on Shopify. That's worldwide. That's a lot of businesses. And all of these small to large entrepreneurs had the same question. And certainly a lot of our businesses are small. There's a lot of us with retail locations like yours. There's a lot who don't have e-commerce experience. Shopify itself is a community of entrepreneurs that that actually have forums to discuss these very serious concerns and issues. So I'll see if I can find a link for it, but I recommend, if you choose this path, which I totally suggest that everyone does, it's as smooth and functional a path to future-proofing your business that you're going to find. And among all of these businesses that struggle, all of them also learn something about their business, right? They also fight against maybe some traditions of management that they need to change. Some feelings they may have had about risk that they want to get around. And there's an entire community of people out there feeling that. Certainly they are using Shopify and using this strange period to investigate how to survive.
We do have a couple more questions. One question is, what do you think is the best way for small businesses to use Shopify? So what features are worth paying an extra premium for? And lastly, are there consulting services worth paying for?
So you can imagine, once you reach this huge mass of merchants all using the same platform at its core, on top of that are layered service industries, right? Their entire service industry is built around Shopify right now. There are Shopify partners who could help you design your site. They could help you customize it and build it and integrate certain features and add-ons that may or may not be part of Shopify's existing core services. There are consulting services for sure that go around in the Shopify world. People who provide strategy and business plans. People that help design sites and create partnerships in wholesale capacity. If you make a certain kind of product and you make a lot of that product, it's hard to sell them all directly to a consumer. You might want to consider selling them in bulk to a wholesale buyer or a big box store, or you name it. So there are certainly there are certainly other services around the Shopify world, a lot of them already deeply integrated, like the Shopify App Store, which if you search Shopify App Store right now, you'll find thousands of additional features that this community of designers and developers have created to extend the capacity of Shopify. And a lot of those are free. Some of them come with, small monthly or weekly fees, but depending on the type of business you're running, those are certainly worth it. I see another part of that question was, what features are worth paying an extra premium for? That certainly depends on your business. If you are finding some success selling online, and your role is now changing as a business owner, you're not just maybe making the product and designing the marketing for your business and running your shop, and you're not just doing those things. Now you're also packing and shipping boxes. I would certainly recommend outsourcing that work. Outsourcing fulfillment work is a great way to give yourself some breathing room and expand. I would recommend paying extra for marketing and or advertising whenever possible. Those are expensive clicks out there these days, and competing for attention is really the job of every seller out there. So Shopify is naturally going to put your product at the top of a pile based on Google's algorithm. It's certainly going to push you to the top of your Facebook or your Instagram. It's gonna make your features more relevant than they have been in the past, based on internet algorithmic scoring. But you still got to pay for advertising, right? If you want to compete on certain terms, you really do need to go after it. So I would say paying a little extra for that, and you can do that with Shopify's automated marketing toolkit.
Okay, and
Any other thoughts?
I'm
Thoughts or
sorry.
questions?
I have one more question, and that is about security. What kind of security is used to protect customers' information? Are the payments handled in-house, or does Shopify contract out to PayPal or other businesses?
Sure. So Shopify has prioritized security and payment processing, SSL certification forever. But now Shopify has actually developed its own integrated payment tools. So we do have our own internal tooling. The most prominent credit card processor on the internet is a company called Stripe, which we use as our back end for credit card processing. Everything else, all of the payment management, all of the checkout features are all fully integrated with Shopify and fully secured on your site. And something else that is interesting, but again, Shopify, big company, lots of breadth and depth on just about any e-commerce subject. So in my short amount of time today, I wanted to keep it on the surface, but I can advocate for this particular feature that's been requested. So on Shopify, you can pay any way you want. You can pay with Apple Pay. You can pay with Shop Pay, which is Shopify's own integrated payment method. You can pay with Google Pay. You can pay with PayPal, right? You can run down the entire list, any kind of credit card that you're willing to accept, and Shopify will make that process.
Well, we have lots of folks saying thank you, good information, those kinds of accolades. And I do want to say thank you for being here with us today, Brian, and helping us understand Shopify and how to get our businesses online and selling online.
Yeah,
quickly
I
and
appreciate
easily.
the opportunity. It was great to see your faces out there, and it was great to hear all these questions. I love that, again, I just love that there are small businesses and entrepreneurs out there, and we need more independent businesses. You gotta keep hope alive.
Totally agree. Well, everyone, as I've said, we are recording today's session and you will get a follow-up with the link to the recording. So if you want to review anything that Brian said today, you can go back through the video that you'll receive. Give us some time. It won't come immediately. It does take us a little bit of time to get everything up on YouTube and of course edit out my almost saying celebration at the beginning and those kinds of silly things. We have other titles coming up. One for good photography on your phone. We will be talking to Virginia Tourism about how we work with other local businesses. That session is really targeted at our Lynchburg area businesses so that they can work together to think about packaging and other issues with regional tourism. We also have a session coming up on Tuesday, October 27th on learning to schedule your social media, which you're welcome to register for if you haven't done that already. And finally, you can always check our website, SBDC Lynchburg Region, to see other upcoming training, including dates for our Start Smart program. If you know anybody who is thinking about starting a business, there are lots of people still thinking about that, even in this environment. We have those sessions coming up, and you can always go to virginiasbdc.org and see the terrific training that's coming up from the Virginia SBDC across the state. And I also recommend checking out the Virginia SBDC's recovery resources page there to help you through making decisions about how to handle the coronavirus with your business interests. So again, we will see you hopefully on Monday and look for a follow-up email soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Stay safe, wash your hands, wear your masks.